And we are live. Yes. Heyo. This. Okay. So, let's see. Discord. Okay, there's a chat. Alright. So, there's no new cards, but there's a lot of stuff to do. Dropping some frames. No, it's okay. Okay. So I have some. What are we gonna do? I'm working on some updates for a bunch of cards in regards to Ash Blossom and Ghost Belle and whatnot. Some old scripts need some updates, so I'll be doing that. Okay, we'll get into the details as we progress. Material annulus, did that. You can set that out of your field, so this one. Now it can move a card, it can special summon a card from the graveyard basically, but it's not guaranteed that it's going to do that, so it needs to have to use a specific function that Ghost Belle will pick up and see, oh hey, you might be able to special summon something from the graveyard, so it can negate you. So it doesn't typically special summon, it's not an effect that will always special summon something from the graveyard, so it needs a slightly different handling. And most of these cards are stuff like that with Belle or Ash Blossom. But if I see any other like small issues or things I want to fix, I'm gonna do that as well. So let's look at this one. Okay, activate. Okay, so it's missing the categories, that's one thing. Since you can special summon. Activate big chain, it's hard once per turn. Target function is a weird one-liner, we're gonna change that. And then operation. Detach one material. Get up a group, get first. If it's not in the graveyard, in your graveyard, stop. Otherwise, if it's a monster and you got room and you can be special summon face down and the player says yes, break, special summon, confirm. Otherwise, if it's not a monster, it can be set to the spell trap zone and the player says yes, break, set. Okay, so these are look okay. We just need to change this a little bit. Let's target. Okay. So that's the activation check, and then in here we're going to add the new stuff, which is this. I have it ready from another script. So in this case we have category, special summon, location, great. So it's not just a regular operation info which says this effect is going to do this thing. It's a possible operation info, so this effect might special summon something from the graveyard. So Ghost Belle will pick this up and say, okay, I can engage you. Now this is not needed, but I'm gonna do this as well, because why not? Leave grave in the case of a spell trap. Okay. No card is actually gonna check this at the moment, but it doesn't hurt to be accurate about it, I guess. Alright, so let me save the script. And move on to the next card. Final Light. It's a Valkyrie, yeah. Pay, target, special summon, then your opponent can special summon monsters from the graveyard, that's why. Although this already targets the special summons from the graveyard, so it's not like it needs it. But I think it's fine to have it just to be more accurate. Also, I'll take a general look at the card, I guess. The option is missing. Let's take the ID. Type property code. It's done. Alright, looks like we're back. Sorry about that. Right, I was looking at this Valkyrie card, right? Yes. So description. Hospital. Some weird handling about not paying costs. Let me just do this. So possible. Your opponent can special summon from their graveyard. Yeah. Well. Okay. Next up, Trial and Tribulation. What's this? It might be one. Oh, it's a delayed effect. During the end phase, this card will activate, apply, depending on the number of monsters you tribute from your field and from your hand this turn. Yeah, so this is offered. So this doesn't do anything when it resolves. Like, it doesn't do any of the things it says when it resolves. But these things happen later. But despite that, Ash and Belle can still negate it because it can draw and it can cards from the gate to the hands. So category and category destroy. Destroy. It's the name, Trial and Tribulation. Isn't there a Phoenix Wright game with that name? Ace Attorney, I mean. Sounds familiar. Maybe it's Trials and Tribulations. Set description. Yeah. It is once per turn. Yes. Let's be one. Okay, so that's a way. That's the old way to do global effects. Depending on the number of monsters you tribute from the field and from your hand this turn, except tokens. Let's update that as well. Right? Yep. Just label it CE1 as in global effect. we don't need this. Continuous. Release. Oh, this is really old. Okay, so what does it count? Number of masses distributed from the field. You distributed from the field. Except tokens. Okay. So seeds you get first. Let me just rewrite this. So DC and G. So D is the group of cards associated with the event. In this case, it's event release. So ED is all the is the group that has all the attributed cards, and then it checks if it's a monster and not a token. You tip it from that field and from your hand. So it doesn't actually check the places here. Okay, so if DC is monster and not DC is type token, and this is previous location, so it needs to be from anywhere on the field or from your hand, so it's not gonna count. It should count from the opponent's field as well. So here's location, hand, rather zone, or previous location hand. And previous controller. Well, actually, wait, no. It's a global effect, so there's no reference to the player. He is the recent player. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna use this as a reference, I suppose. Yeah, because it's the player that does the attributing, the one we care about. Previous location, hand, previous controller, B, I guess. Let's do this. And then this. DC. Okay. So if it's a monster, it's not a token. It was in the master zone. Or it was in the hand of the player that did attributing. Then we're going to register the flag. Are we missing? We're missing a parenthesis here. And then we just register the flag. Register ID +1. Oh yeah, ID +1 there. Let's see, flag effect. +1, +1, +1. So yeah, it's not using a different flag, so it should just be the regular ID, not +1. No point. Right, so register on this player. And that should be good to go then. The monster not token. It was in the monster zone, or it was in the hand of the player that did attributing. Register a flag on this player. Depending on the number of monsters he attributed. Yeah, okay. So that's what will keep track of how many monsters its player attributed throughout the any given turn. Target function has to be activated, so you cannot copy it with diamond deal, I guess. Yeah. And then in the operation, just count how many monsters have been treated. Okay. And then in the operation, you just apply an effect. It's kind of pointless. Continuous phase end, visits in the end phase. Condition is that the flag exists. Okay. And then the operation. Okay, so this is the point where we need to add the new stuff. Let me check this first though. So what does it do? Based on the number, 1, do a card, 2, add 2 monsters, 3, destroy. So if it's 1, draw 1. Price effect depending, blah, blah. Okay. If it's 2, get everything, like about the filter from your graveyard. It's a monster. Able to hunt. It's filter. We need at least 2 of them. So there's at least 2. Select 2 of them, add them to the hand, show them to the opponent. Okay, seems fine. And then if it's 3, we destroy up to 3 face-up cards on the field. So get everything is face-up on the field. If there's any of them, select up to 3, destroy them. Okay. Now we could do a dual hand selection here. Oops. Okay, and then the stuff we actually came here to do is this. So it has category draw. No, I can't remember the parameters for this when it comes to drawing these. Okay, and category to hand from the graveyard, 2 of them, and then destroy, I suppose. Destroy either failed. The destroy one is not used anyway either, but for completion's sake. Okay. Alright, so this one is fine as well now. We'll move on to the next one. So what's the next one? Let's see. Monster Gate. So this is, yeah, okay, so this one has a possibility of special summoning from the graveyard, from the deck. The summon also send it to the categories. Now, there's a couple things missing here. Set, description, again. ID. Category deck. This I think is deck destruction. This is possible operation info. Category special summon. TP deck, and there's also it's guaranteed to send something, I guess, to the Goyet, so the Raiden, which doesn't have an operation info. I think it would go something like this. I'm guessing. The last number is probably the value. Asa, you go high. What's up? So let's put that the other way around. Okay, yeah, this is ugly, but now that I did see something here. Okay, so it checks the master zones in a weird way. Could change this to what's this? It's a little reminder you're awesome, thank you. No problem. Alright, so do you get M zone count? PPC, something like this. Don't need the FT stuff. This is gonna check if the number of master zones the TP has, excluding the one taken by C, which is the one we're looking tribute, is 0, is more than 0. So you have at least one zone, excluding the one you tribute. Pretty much. Also here. Okay. What we got? Now what happens with Diamond Dude here? You don't tribute, of course, but you still need to have a master zone. I'm assuming. So we're gonna do a set label 1. So if the cost is being run, the label is 1, and then here we're gonna check the label is 1, or the player has zones, I guess. Yeah. Get location count. This one. Oops. Where did I copy? And so either the cost is run, in which case the location, the master zone is being checked here, or if the cost is not being run, aka Diamond Dude, then we do actually have an empty master zone. I'll be back. Yep, okay. Let's continue. I keep crashing today, it's freaking stupid. There's not much I can do about it. Okay, so monster gate. I added this. I don't think I wanna look into this part, to be honest. It's a mess. So let's move on. Okay. And reasoning should be the same. Debates. Did I finish the label thing? Yes, okay. Yay, now my internet crashes because reasons. Okay. Reasoning, yes. Operation infos. I'm not touching this because it's the same. Okay. Done. Done. Okay, I'm Dragon Blitz, so let's see. I don't even remember what this does. Target one you control. Take one with the same name from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Okay, yeah, it's one of those. Add to your hand or special summon it. Ignore conditions, counter directly. You can activate one, you can special summon. Okay. Bunch of restrictions. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Two hand search, special summon. Target. Chain. Once per turn. Custom activity for dragons. Can spell summon except dragons. Could add the description here instead of a separate thing. You know, summon anything that's not a dragon. Okay. Right, so this is the problem. Like an inaccuracy. It can either search from the deck or graveyard, or special summon from the deck or graveyard. So we need two of those. To hand, location, deck, plus grave. And special summon. Okay. So now both Ash. Well, actually, even before both Ash and Belle could negate it because of the regular operation info, but it was kind of inaccurate. Let's see. Target one you control. Take one. You control it in your master zone. Filter. Face up on dragon is existing. Something with different name, same name. Okay. Open filter. It's a non-dragon. Take one master with the same name. Well, they shouldn't check this. For being honest, they should just check that it's a master though. So, see it's master, and you can search it or you can summon it. You have zones. You know summon conditions. Cannot attack, but it cannot attack directly. Echo value filter, okay. It's face down as well. You need to stop because you cannot reference the name. Is this even used? Nope. So that's worthless. Deselect. Okay. Right, so I think this is fine. Blitz, okay. Next one. Link party. So this one there was a pull request. I'm gonna leave it for now. So I'm probably gonna use the changes from that one. Slash draw, probably for the return part. Deck this, draw, destroy damage to deck. Yeah. So Gospel should be able to negate this because you can shuffle cards from the deck from the graveyard into the deck. Yeah, so target deck this is guaranteed, draw one is guaranteed, and then the possible ones are destroying, damage, and the shuffle back. So category destroy. Try to make as a fill as possible. And then inflict damage. So category damage. Your opponent. At least 2000, I guess. And then category to deck from your graveyard. Like I could do was no slash, shuffle cards from your graveyard into your deck, blah blah blah. Okay. But now, as name Gospel should be able to negate this. Jesus. Do I wanna try and simplify this? Do I wanna? I'm not sure. If one has cards on the field, send cards from top of the deck to get equal number of cards your opponent controls. List that many in your deck. You can mill them, and you can draw one. Cost, discard one. String ID. Done. Let me take a look. No, you don't. Yeah, I see this freaking pyramid though. It's like, okay, first of all, this could be a like this, so you can immediately stop if the opponent has no cards. Equal the number of cards the opponent controls. So if, well, this is actually kind of wrong. So I'll just put it here. I'm pretty sure this return is an int, the amount of cards actually milled. So send them. Then draw one and show it. Okay, so we need to have at least one that ends up in the graveyard, basically. This is what this does. So we're going to do this. If not, is exists. Card is location 1-0. Grave, then return. So of the ones we just milled, if there's none of them in the graveyard, for example, if they all get banished because of Macrocosmos, then you don't draw a card and do the rest. So we're just gonna stop there. And now we don't need this. Break effect because it says then. and then we draw one and show it. So again, we could change this to this, and then return end. Get the guy we draw and reveal it. Is this correct? Feels like, okay, it's all tabs. Felt like there was some spaces there. I guess not. Okay, okay, show it. And then it was slash draw, do a thing. If it was not slash draw, do a different thing. So we're gonna keep this if, because it's where the effect actually branches out for the first time. Only these. Oops. Oh boy. So many tabs, I get confused where each if block stops and the next one begins. Okay, now everything is lined up nicely. So if it is slash draw, send to the graveyard. So again, so look at this. There's an if and there's another if right away without anything else being happening outside of this. That's so pointless. Like, take this and put it here. So if it is slash draw and you send it to the graveyard and it actually ends up in the graveyard, now you destroy. So again, we don't need this, and we also don't need this. So we take everything on the field. Accept itself, apparently. Is there a ruling for this? I'm not sure. Let me check. Database. Slash. Typically, cards do not destroy themselves, like spells activation of spell traps, but this is kind of a special case, so I'm not sure. Okay, these are willing, let's see. If I draw slash draw, it's not destroyed by turn effect, and it's not included number of cards counted when inflicting damage. Okay. Nice. Okay, so we need to actually exclude it here. Yeah, there's no check happening for actually having cards to destroy. Destroy as many cards as possible and inflict wish card destroy and send to the graveyard. So this also returns an int. This is the number of cards that were destroyed, and they are actually in the graveyard. And if there's any of them, break and do damage. 2000 for each. Okay. So I'd say that's fine. This half. And then if it's not slash draw, shuffle from your graveyard into the deck equal to the number of cards sent. Shuffle your hand. Select able to the deck location grave. Oh, we need this number, huh? What's this number again? It's the number cards sent from the deck to the graveyard. So it's this. Well, shit. Okay, so I need to separate this, but it's fine. Let's do Grave City. Filter count. Function nil, I think is correct. Then if Grave City is 0, then we stop, and we're gonna use this down here for the min and max. Center deck, sequence, deck, shuffle. Oh yeah, let's also actually show them though. Hint selection. Etc. Oops. Okay. Let's see one more time. So if you have no deck or you don't mill, stop. Get the number of cards that you mill that are in the graveyard. If there's 0, stop. Break. Draw 1. Wait, is this right? I think if you cannot draw, you shouldn't break, right? No, I shouldn't. How the hell do you do this? Because if you don't have a deck, you should do, but if you have a deck but you cannot draw because of another effect, then you shouldn't break effect here. It's a pain. Maybe duels play affected by drawing, maybe, I guess. Am I overthinking this? Maybe? Let me... I think this is correct. Break, draw. Show the one you drew. If it's slash, send to the graveyard. It's in the graveyard. Get everything on the field. If there's nothing on the field or you don't destroy anything, stop. If you do destroy stuff and something went to the graveyard because of it, break, do damage. If it was not, slash draw. Shuffle your hand. Select stuff from the graveyard to return. Put them back. Okay. Seems okay, I think. Alright, that was a big update, but whatever. Okay, next one. Zektrite Core, whatever the fuck. How you pronounce that? What does this do again? Send one other. Activate one of the effects. So it changes what it does, but you pick on activation. Either you take an Insecto monster and spell summon it or equip it, or you can equip an equip spell. So the thing here is that, right, okay, so depending on what you picked, there's a different category that's being set. Right, so this should be possible. Yeah, this should also be possible. Whereas the second one is regular. Okay. Okay, next one. Another delayed one, I think. You understand this time a card is banished? Apply the following effects. Hand, banish 2 from your hand. Opponent's hand. Field, banish 2 from your control. Gradient, banish 2 from the grade. So, yeah, again, this needs the banish category. Move. And then it's a target function that's going to set all these the possible potential infos. Mirror of the ice barrier. Target check. Activation check is always going to be true, and we just need possible category remove. Random cards from your opponent's hand. Opponent controls. Opponent's grade. So it can banish from the opponent's hand, field, or graveyard. So Ghost Belle is able to negate this, the activation of this. Some guys banished from your hand, field, or graveyard by your opponent's activated master effect. That's so specific. Here's an effect, not with direct. Magic numbers. Previous location. Place control TP. It's the opponent's effect. It's a monster effect. Activated. Okay, and then it puts in the flag, it puts the location. I guess I see why it's done this way, but I'm gonna change the magic number, honestly, because this is silly. Yeah. Yes, it's long, but at least you can tell what the hell it does. Do this. Label flag. Okay. Ta-da. So it does it immediately, yeah? Yeah. And the operation, label, group, and it checks which locations are included. Banish up to 2. Play selects 1 or 2, I guess. It's on the field, banish up to 2 again. Graveyard, banish up to 2. Okay, that's pretty standard. It puts everything in the same group, everything you select, and banishes everything at the end. Okay. Turnover tactics. Control 2 or more, shuffle as many. Then special summon from your deck. Up to the number of cards shuffled in your main deck, those can attack. The opponent can special summon monsters from their deck. So it's kind of shuffle as many. Yeah, so should have possible from the opponent's deck, I guess. Although it's not a big deal. Okay. Mirror. Xyz Anchor. Oh, this card. Target, detach everything, return to the extra deck. Then if there's a monster in their materials, you spell summon them. Your opponent's field. Those are reduced by 1. Okay. So it puts this one, the target into the deck, and then it can special summon. That's kind of great among those attached materials. Special summon as many of those as possible from the graveyard to your opponent's side of the field. So special summons from potentially both graveyards, I guess. Yeah. So now Ghost Belle can negate this before he was not able to. Strange idea. Okay. Seems fine. Next up, Generation Next. Wait, close this. Okay. If you oppose, add to your hand those special summons one of those. From your deck or graveyard. Because an equal difference. You can't wait. Okay. It's one of those that sometimes I can do one of two things, but it's not decided until the effect resolves. So it's to hand special summon. Yeah, so this uses the regular operation first, but it should be using possible. Deck or graveyard? Deck or graveyard, yes. What's this? Cannot activate. Oops. Cannot activate cards or the effects of cards with the same name. Spell summon. Cards effective cards. Yeah, should pass the name here. Yeah, because if you pass the card object, it's a small detail. If you pass the card, later the card's name might change, so the limit here will get messed up. So you need to pass the you need to check the name specifically the moment you added it, so in case it changes later, there's no problem. Okay. Let's do eponymous spell summons. Oh yeah, take one, either add it, right? Send the gate or banish, sorry. So it's mill or banish. Orchestrated. That's the old name of the globe. Orchestrated Einsatz. Okay. Grave. Failed trigger. Summon success. The order is all over the place here. Delay. S-zone. House turn. If your opponent summons a monster, except you damage step. Take one monster and send to the graveyard or banish it. Okay. From your hand or deck. So yeah, this should be possible. Yep. Okay. Advanced zone, I think that's another delayed one. During the end phase, of any turn in which you tribute summon a monster, applies effects in sequence based on the number of monsters you tribute for to summon this turn. Oh no, it's not delayed. But it's a delayed effect because it doesn't trigger when you tribute, but it does trigger it actually. Delayed effects are the ones that trigger and then do something later on after they trigger, after they resolve. So what does this do? Destroy, draw, add from graveyard to hand. Okay, yeah, so during the end phase in which you tribute a monster, you can apply these effects in sequence based on the number of monsters you tribute for tribute summons this turn. So here what this does is that it checks which of the conditions has been met on activation and accordingly sets up the operation infos. But here's the problem. What this should do, the thing is, if this triggers and then by the time it resolves you tribute more things. So let's say you chain an effect and tribute summon. You should add to the count, which it will, because it's a global effect and it does. But then it means that this is kind of inaccurate, so although there's a question of can Stardust negate this? Oh. Stardust might be able to negate this. Let me check if there's a ruling. Anyway, my point about Gospel is that Gospel should always be able to negate it. What's the name? Advance zone. There's no ruling. On the database at least. Okay, I feel like... Okay, here's the thing. If it does trigger... Okay, here's one thing. Okay, this is a helpful little detail. If it does trigger, it means that at least one or more is met, in which case it's an effect that will destroy. So it's whenever it triggers, it's always going to do this. Yeah. Now the 2 or more and the 3 or more are the ones that are uncertain, but basically the effect cannot trigger if it doesn't at least fulfill the first one. So this is fine, because if it triggers but the opponent doesn't have a set card, then Stardust should not be able to chain, I'm pretty sure. But these two I think should be... And the number of masters you tribute doesn't get decreased over time or anything, so... So you might draw a card and you might add something from the graveyard to your hand. The idea being that, like I said, if this triggers with just 2 tributes done, Ghostbusters should still be able to negate it because it has the potential to add a card from the graveyard to the hand. If you change something and you tribute something else, then it's gonna add up to the count, and when this resolves, you're going to actually add something back. Okay, yeah, the name, advance, zone, oops, the fuck did I just do? Advance zone.